Hey everyone, so inspired by Alex Wilson's request for some info on how to maintain an Opti, I decided to make this video, so hopefully it's useful to your sailor and you guys like it. Let's check it out. So the main thing to understand about boats in general is that sunlight is their worst enemy. That's why we use boat covers, both on the top of the boat and the bottom of the boat, to try to keep the sun off of the boat and protect the gel coat. Gel coat is this white resin that covers the entire boat and protects the underlying fiberglass from damage from UV rays. That's why if you ever notice a boat that gets left out in the sun for a really long time, gets kind of dusty, and that is oxidation off the gel coat. So to prevent that, make sure you use your cover. When thinking about maintenance on your boat, the main things you want to be taking a look at is always your flotation. So that should be your 3 airbags. And also the condition of your hiking straps. Nothing, and I mean nothing, ruins a day faster than a flotation bag not being properly inflated, capsizing, and your boat is under the water and it requires a coach to come and save you. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what's going on here with this boat and some things to look out for. Here we can see that already there's a cut on this airbag here where my finger is, and that is already a point where I would be thinking about replacing it. Why? Airbags are made of an inner rubberized plastic layer and an outer shell which protects it from the sun and from puncture. So if your outer layer is already compromised, it's really easy for the inner layer to be compromised as well. So I would recommend that if you have any kind of gash like that, you replace it within a couple of sailing days, because your airbag will pop just like that. Here you can see the damage that the sun does and oxidizing the plastics on this airbag. This is the mark of the strap that holds the airbag down. The whiter part is the oxidation, the whitening of the sun. And I wanted to show you here a close-up of the air inlets. Okay, here you can see there's tons of mold, right? And this came apart pretty easily. So they come from the factory with a little bit of sealant, but not too much. So over time, that glue kind of wears off and these can pop off. So I always recommend checking this out because this can kind of go unnoticed. This slips off, the airbag loses pressure, the sailor doesn't notice, and they have a bad day out on the water. Also, these are twist top. If you can't twist them open, probably needs to be replaced or very, very thoroughly cleaned with soap and water, because this mold and this gunk will stop it from opening up and closing properly. So you might think that you close it properly and it's holding air, but it's actually not. So when taking a look at your hiking straps, the main thing you want to be looking out for is dry rot. And dry rot is basically an effect of most of these parts on a boat being made of petroleum-based plastics. So this webbing that composes the primary part of the hiking strap will eventually, over time, with the sun and the salt in the water, will be oxidized just like the gel coat, and it will make the fibers very brittle. So it'll look as if the hiking strap is still intact, but you have your sailor get into the boat, they hike out, and it rips. Why? Dry rot. So I recommend that whenever you are taking your boat down, doing any maintenance, you just give the hiking strap a good tug, like so. That way you know if you have dry rot happening or not. If you hear any ripping sounds or you see any ripping happening, it's time to replace it. Now, this you see here would look as if it's time to replace it, but not necessarily. That's just the top of the padding that on this particular kind of hiking strap is at the bottom of the hiking strap. You can kind of see the padding is there. And although it looks bad, you can trim it up a little bit and have the hiking straps last a little longer, but you always want to be checking them and rinsing them with fresh water. So looking back at the deck here, one thing I want to point out is this area right here. So what you're seeing there is the wear from the sailor's feet over time. You can kind of see it here on the non-skid. It's kind of a ridged surface, really scratchy, and it's meant to be grippy so that the sailor has grip as they cross the boat and they don't slip. But this boat is already pretty well loved, so as you can see, the really worn out areas always happen to be here. So one thing to watch out for is that once the boat reaches a certain age, that the non-skid has to be redone, because as it wears out over time, it can make the boat slipperier and slipperier, making the chance of injury greater. We've got our boat nice and stripped. We've taken our airbags off. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a slight gray area around here and here. And that is the mold that accumulates from the moisture under your airbags. So the first thing I would do is, when I got my entire boat cleaned out like this, is hit it with some soap and a little bit of bleach. I would say 1 to 10 ratio. If you put too much bleach, it'll wear out the plastic here on the airbag straps and your hiking straps as well, making them a little brittle and getting dry rot happening faster. So once you've cleaned out your whole boat, you've washed it, you've cleaned it, now you can start to inspect it for any cracks, any failures. And here we're going to show you what to look for right here at the mast clamp area. So here at the mast clamp area, we're already noticing a couple things. We got some rust on the mast cup here. We have what seems to be paint or gel coat on here. And what we want to be looking at is basically, does this star nut turn and does the mast cup move? So it looks like on this boat, everything's okay. Just needs a little bit of greasing and lubricant. I'd probably hit this with some kind of wire brush just to get this gunk out, make the action a little smoother. So what you're looking at here is how the mast rake is changed on the boat, and this is really critical for racing. So you want to make sure that this is able to work. Here we have a gudgeon, specifically the lower gudgeon, and a gudgeon is the part that holds the rudder to the boat, and it's a hole that holds a pin that's on the rudder and is clipped in up at the top, here at the top gudgeon. But if you take a look down here, you can see a lot of stress cracks happening. So you'll always see it on the gel coat. If the hit or the damage is deep enough, it comes out in the gel coat, and you can see stress cracks here and spidering out from here. And actually, I bet you if I flex this a little bit, you can see a little bit of movement there. This is not a good sign. This means that the fiberglass layers down here are starting to separate and it's time for a repair. This also means that most likely there's water coming in at some point here. Now on an Opti, it's not a very fast boat. It's actually considered one of the slowest boats in the world as per the Portsmouth rating. But you still want to take care of this because you just don't know when this will fail, and you'll have this entire piece rip out, rendering the boat unsaleable. So hopefully with those few tips, you'll have an easier time cleaning up your boat. See you next time.